After doing retrospectives on most PS2 Tony Hawk's games, I've decided to continue with the skateboarding genre by doing a series on the Skate franchise. In this video, I'll be doing a retrospective on the first game in this defining series, Skate, the game which took the crown as the premier skateboarding franchise back in 2007 and which also revolutionized skateboarding gameplay. My name is OneHip and thanks for clicking on this video. Thank you to those who've watched my Tony Hawk's retrospectives. The response has been amazing and really overwhelming. And for those who are new to the channel, welcome. Anyway, let's go. In 2006, Tony Hawk's Project 8 was released. Despite its positive reception from critics, it was heavily criticised for its unstable frame rate, as well as its less arcadey feel compared to previous titles. In addition, fans of the groundbreaking series were feeling fatigued with yearly releases of the games, as well as declining quality with each installment. And the skateboarding video game market was primed for another franchise to come to the table. On September 14th, 2007 in the US and September 28th in Europe and Australia, Skate was released on the Xbox 360 to great fanfare. The game was also released on PlayStation 3 on September 24th, 2007 in the US, October 5th in Europe, and October 11th in Australia in the same year. A mobile port was also released prior to the console versions on September 13th, 2007 worldwide. The game was developed by EA Black Box, formerly known as Black Box Games, and published by EA. For my gameplay footage, I played the Xbox 360 version of the game via backwards compatibility on my Xbox Series S. Besides buying a second-hand disc, you can also purchase the game digitally on the Xbox Store, or you can play it as part of EA Play, which is included with Xbox Game Pass. Unlike the arcade experience that the Tony Hawk series brought at the time, Skate provided a more grounded and realistic style of gameplay. Gone were the days of ridiculous six-figure combos. Rather, a much more lifelike experience was offered that had not been seen before in the genre. Skate introduced the flick-it control mechanic, where you use the right joystick and depending on where it's flicked, you perform a maneuver. This can also be combined with the trigger and face buttons to open up more options for tricks like grabs. For grinding rails and the like, you simply just need to ollie onto it, once again with the right joystick, and the rest will follow. Manualing is performed by gently pulling the right joystick back for regular manuals and forward for nose manuals. You push your skateboard by selecting A or X or squared depending if you're on Xbox or PlayStation respectively, depending on your stance. You revert by quickly moving the left joystick right to left or vice versa. I really love this control scheme, and it's easy to learn and difficult to master mechanics can reward you with awesome tricks you can pull with practice. And speaking of practice, you'll bail a lot in this game, just like you would in real life if you learned how to skate and do tricks. The reward comes with a successful line or a killer trick. Combos have also been replaced with lines, and you're not required to perform a manual to increase your score and continue the line. Rather, you have a small window of time to continue tricks before the multiplier depletes. Unlike the third-person camera view in the Tony Hawk's franchise, Skate's camera is from the perspective of your cameraman, which places emphasis on the skater's movements and foot positioning, and thus their tricks. A mini-map in the HUD guides you to various activities in the game, and a multiplier at the bottom left of the screen increases with the number of maneuvers you pull off in a combo. I love when the color changes and you go into slow-mo when you hit high ones. And unlike future games in the series, you can't get off your board and walk around. This is mitigated by many staircases having ramps next to them for you to skate back up to. This is handy for things like jams, which don't allow you to place and go to session markers. You can place session markers where you stand to teleport back to if you find a line or another place of interest and wish to try it out, or if you bail during a line and wish to try again instantly from the same spot you started from. You have a map in the options menu that you can use to fast travel and also see what events are available. Events include pro challenges, skate, jams, and spots which you can own. You can refer to these spots in your spot Bible in the options menu, and you discover them by skating past them. Also included are no skate zones, which have security guards. Being seen and chased by a guard moves the camera into a far third-person perspective, and if you're caught, you're jacked and you have to pay a fine, usually $50. These are marked as red overlays on the map. Discovered skate parks or other points of interest are marked light blue. At the start of the game, you create a skater and start a new career. As you progress through challenges, you unlock things like sponsorships and merch for your character. In some cases, when you bail, a hall of meat appears, showing you what and how many parts of your body you bruised, sprained, or broke, as well as the damage meter measured as ouch, and if you face planted. This feature would be expanded upon in future Skate installments. There are also no difficulty settings as far as I'm aware, so if you want to beat challenges, you need to practice, as some challenges require you to pull off certain tricks. Thankfully, there is a trick guide in the options menu with the correct way to maneuver the joystick for both regular and goofy stances. For the controls, I found that you can front or backflip very easily in this game, and more often than not, you'll bail like I mentioned before. But again, it's all part of the experience of learning tricks and finding and nailing lines and spots. Sometimes there were slight frame drops in certain parts of the map, and the camera would sometimes do its own thing, but it didn't detract from the gameplay at all. Skate is based in the fictional city of San Vanalona, a combination of Barcelona, Vancouver, and San Francisco. The main areas include suburbs where you start in career mode, full of lovely skate parks to shred in, and this was actually my favourite area. Further down is the Res, a mostly downhill part of the city that is possibly an homage to what skateboarding games used to be like before Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was released. Downtown, things will be great when you're... It has lots of rails and many buildings with ledges and drops, while Old Town features alleys and sidewalks for you to grind on. And it's clearly most influenced by Western European cities like Barcelona, like I mentioned before. There are also many great places to shred in between areas, as well as some secret spots for those who are curious to explore. Each area stands out from one another very well, and they all have nice variety to them, and there will be one to suit your skate style. There are also subways dotted across the map to allow quick access to any area on the map. These also act as another way to fast travel, and they also act as skate parks in their own right. You're a skater who's hit by a bus and is severely injured in San Vanalona when trying to perform a trick at the elementary school. Through a comical live-action intro video, which would become a signature part of the Skate series, you're sent to the hospital and are treated. A skating cameraman tells you that you were hit by a bus, and a nurse asks you to fill in your details before taking you into surgery. You customize your skater's look, outfit, and skateboard, and you're operated on. The cameraman returns and shows you his backpack with things like the map, missions, your cash amount, trick book, and your wardrobe, among other things. He tells you about locations as well as security guards that you need to look out for in some spots. He says you need to get sponsorships to unlock more challenges as well as merch. You catch the train to the starting area, the suburbs, and complete the optional basic tutorials, aka your recovery from hospital. And you're free to explore the suburbs and complete various challenges. You're introduced to a skater named Shingo and a challenge to a game of Skate. You beat him, and he suggests you see Seb, who can take photos of you skateboarding. You follow Shingo to the school and meet Seb. Seb shoots your first magazine photo, and you pick the one that you like best. You then do a film challenge at a place of your choosing. Shingo messages you saying that you should enter a best trick contest, either by rolling there yourself or fast traveling via your map, which is introduced into the game at this point. You win the contest, and Shingo says you should go to the shop to see your magazine cover. You meet Eric, who skates for the shop Regis, as well as the Regis owner Joel, who offers you a shirt. In the shop, you can buy new clothes, decks, and also peruse your magazine covers and sponsorships. You enter Joel's annual jam and you win it. He calls you and offers you a place in his team and asks you to film footage. They put your video in the shop promotion and you unlock more film challenges and jams, also known as contests. You shoot some photos with Mike Falk, as well as other challenges, and you have a photo shoot for the mag with Seb outside Regis and get your second article and unlock pro challenges to gain sponsorships. I chose my first sponsor to be Zero, doing Chris Cole's challenge. You pick up your sponsored gear as you can gain bonuses if you wear and use their branded stuff, and you can pick up more sponsors for trucks, shoes, and wheels as you go along. You arrive in a no skate zone, and if you're caught, then you have to pay a fine. You take part in a Thrasher magazine photo shoot and unlock videos where you avoid security while pulling off tricks in the zones. You have your third magazine cover photo shoot. You meet a guy named Freeway and follow him to Slappy's in Old Town, and he says that Slappy has something to show you. You meet Slappy, who shows you on the latest issue of Thrasher magazine, and he asks Freeway to take you to some events. This unlocks new modes in the game such as Death Race. You get your next cover for a product of the environment feature in the mag. You go film a line for your sponsor and everyone praises you for what you did, and you go pro. You get a new jack spread in the mag and a wheel sponsorship. I chose Momentum. You defeat Paul Rodriguez in a game of Skate and you're invited to a mansion up the hills. You get a photo shoot as you're part of the year's best for the mag. You follow Mark Gonzalez through the suburbs and Res to the art gallery. You win a death race and meet back at Slappy's and he welcomes you to the store anytime. You do one more part of the sponsor video and you celebrate with your crew. You do one more spot and go on the front cover of the mag, and you also complete the Thrasher magazine shoots and also land on that cover. And you're deemed one of the best skaters ever. You get invited to the X Games to compete in jams, and you're free to complete any challenges that you may have missed if you choose to do so. As well as career mode, you can also free skate as well as do a tutorial to learn the basics of the game mechanics. You can also watch media such as photos and videos of your gameplay, as well as watch others and share them online, which is pretty cool. You can also edit your replays, which is really good. You can also play skate and spot battles with up to 4 players locally in party play mode, and you unlock new locations as you play through career mode. Unfortunately, the skate servers were shut down in 2011, so I was unable to review the online aspects of the game. But at the time, you could play ranked and unranked matches and make custom ones for you and your online buddies to enjoy. You can also watch videos from pro skaters as they tell their stories about skateboarding and what it means to them, which are very good to watch. For the skater lineup, you can pick characters that you unlock in career mode, as well as many pro skaters such as Danny Way, Chris Cole, Mike Carroll, and Tony Hawk's alumni Paul Rodriguez, among others. Customization for your character is extremely solid, with many real brands with their own clothing and skate gear. You can really make your skater your own. Skate has an eclectic soundtrack which boasts many songs from mainly hard rock and hip hop artists. Standout tracks include Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs, which is the song that plays in the main menu, We Are Motorhead by Motorhead, Pretty Vacant by the Sex Pistols, and Express Yourself by NWA. The music's volume changes depending on how close you are to a good spot, and the volume will increase as you get closer, which is really cool. I can't show you an example of this with the in-game soundtrack due to potential copyright strikes, but I'll demonstrate what this is like with this royalty-free music. The voiceovers from NPCs sound great, and the sound of you grinding, landing tricks, and popping ollies are all delightful. If you've played any other skate games and wish to try the one that started it all, then I would highly recommend giving this one a go. No third-person option and a lower field of view, as well as not being able to walk, may turn some off, so if you've never played any games in the series, then I would recommend playing Skate 3. I respect Skate for changing the way that tricks are performed with the flick-it system, and while it wasn't the first game to implement something like this, Project 8 did introduce Nail the Trick after all. Skate refined it to let the player intuitively pull off moves. The game's laid-back atmosphere makes it a very relaxing game to play, even in short bursts if you want to beat some challenges, find a line and nail it, or just simply roll around to find something undiscovered. Skate rolled so its sequels could run. You can buy the game secondhand or digitally through the Xbox store. The game is also on Game Pass as part of EA Play. If you made it to the end of this, thank you so much for watching. What do you think of the original Skate? Do you agree or disagree with anything I said? What are your opinions on the game? Are you looking forward to the next Skate game being released later this year? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and be sure to watch my previous skateboarding game retrospectives if you haven't already. Be sure to like this video and share it with those who may enjoy this kind of content. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any extreme and non-extreme sports gaming content on this channel. My name is OneHip, and you have a good one. Bye!